We went to elementary school up here at 62nd and Larcher Avenue, and then later on at Pine Forge Academy, just about an hour from here, in the country, outside of Pottstown in Reading, Pennsylvania. Pine Forge Academy is one of 3 boarding academies, African American boarding academies, remaining here in the United States. 70 in this boarding academy. And it not only boasts of everyday people like Roxanne and Kevin and Lynn, Brenda and I attending there, but also daytime actor, singer Clifton Davis, who there graduated, Little Richard, and the current chaplain there, Black in the United States Senate, all were there. Again, in your own time, Google Pine Forge Academy and check out its rich history. I just visited some of my classmates. This time last week, we had a gathering in Baltimore, and there were at least 10 of us from Pine Forge Academy in his class. A friend drove up from Virginia, another friend flew in from Denver, Colorado. This is the impact that Darnell had on our lives. About 2 years ago, we got together, our class, to celebrate our 70th birthday. And we did this in Washington, D.C., and again, people flew in California and drove up from Alabama and whatnot. And we had a friend of ours, one of the guys that drove up from Virginia, to make a tribute resolution honoring our class. So I'd just like to do a couple paragraphs, and then I'll leave it here in the fellowship room for us to look at. It says, whereas some of us lost our way for a time, but were encouraged, supported, and prayerfully, hopefully, rediscovered the straight and narrow path. Let it be known that we, representing the Pine Forge Academy Class 71, have eyes that see, voices that can speak, and proudly proclaim that God is great and greatly to be praised. Our Father has graciously allowed our class to hold the 50-plus years since graduation, to breathe and live free, and to awaken each day with a new opportunity to tell someone, anyone, how loving, how kind, how great is our God. Darnell Christopher Williams Eisen passed away suddenly on April 23rd, 2025, surrounded by life partner Brenda and his loving Baltimore family. Darnell was a loving father, grandfather, great-grandfather, brother, uncle, cousin, and friend. Darnell was also cherished, someone to confide in, a teacher, and an unforgettable presence in their lives. Darnell was born in Philadelphia, PA, November 23rd, 1953, 3 days after me, to James Crawford and Gladys Williams. His siblings included Ronald, Beverly, Darrell, Matthew, Leslie, Corey, and Janice. He was later adopted by James and Lucille Eisen and was blessed with a second family. Darnell attended Larcher Sunday Adventist School in Philadelphia, Pine Forge Academy in Pine Forge, Pennsylvania, and later Oakwood University College in Huntsville, where he made lifelong friends. Darnell was never one to be idle and worked numerous jobs in Pennsylvania, including electrical and plumbing work, excavation, paving, and driving commercially. He was a member for many years at the Greater Bible Way Temple, right here in Philadelphia. Sharon. Darnell and Brenda both attended Pine Forge Academy. However, they attended at different times and did not know each other. In 2011, Darnell did what he did best, and Brenda was one of the class members he called to invite to our 40th year class reunion. They spoke on the phone several months afterwards, and finally met in person when she attended the reunion a few months later. In 2012, Darnell relocated to Baltimore to begin a life with Brenda and her family. Darnell touched the lives of all he came in contact with. He made numerous friends in Baltimore, which he truly cared about, one of whom taught him the crabbing business. Darnell later shared what he had learned about crabbing with his best friend, who started his mobile crabbing business. He also worked at Joe Corby Pizza, did repair jobs around the house, and mowed lawns for his neighbors. He had a large, booming presence and a beautiful baritone voice. He had a kind heart and giving spirit. On many occasions, he gave to those less fortunate and assisted those in need. He was very empathetic and not ashamed to cry when something touched him very deeply. Darnell lived his life to the fullest, doing what he enjoyed. He loved to sing during karaoke at the hangout or on cruise ships where he received loud cheers, shoot pool with his friends, play online chess, watch football, especially the Eagles, and watch movies with his honey, Brenda. In 2022, Darnell returned to commercial driving, also something he loved to do, with his co-rider and administrative assistant Brenda by his side, off and on since 2022, and continuously since 2024. They traveled the country, going through or stopping in all but 4 states. Darnell never started to drive until he prayed, and while driving, he made it a habit to call family, former classmates, and friends who traveled through their areas to say hello. On Easter Sunday, Darnell and Brenda arrived home from Indiana. Darnell delivered his last load on Monday, April 21st, when he drove his rig for the last time. Although all of us loved him, and on mourning his passing, God knew best. And on Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025,